Hey guys, man, it's Leno Martinez. It's February 28, 2020, Friday, 4:23 a.m. I wrote something on my Facebook earlier tonight, explaining about schizophrenia and schizophrenic, same thing. Uh, I wrote on my Facebook about it, how schizophrenia is not real and how it's a made up word by scientists who came up with it so that doctors and scientists and the government also, you know, can make money off people that have been targeted, man. And and that's what they do. They use that word schizophrenia. They label us target individuals schizophrenics or schizophrenic, uh, and try to put us on medication that we don't even need to begin with. And and once you start getting put on meds, they start, draining your money, all your earned money that you've made throughout your lifetime, man. They start sucking that money out of you. And these doctors love that shit, man. There's some doctors that come forward, and say that schizophrenia starts at a young age in males around the age of 20, 21, but that's not even true either, man, because it's done by remote neural device, man. Schizophrenia is not real, man. There's kids these days that are fucking gang stalking that participate in gang stalking, and they do it to other kids that they don't like, and they get them to think that they're schizophrenia at a young age, man, and got symptoms of it, and schizophrenia is not real, man. It's done by people using remote neural device. You know, it's it's a battle that us target individuals have to fight every day, man. And we're not crazy or mentally ill. Uh, we know what's happening to us. We're the ones that are going through this. And people that are gang stalking using a remote neural device and voice to skull, which is V2K. V2K is also known as the voice of God. Because they change their voices also. Making it deep, making it like a young kid and or a woman or a man or your friend or your sibling or your aunt or your uncle or your grandparents or your parents, and uh, people you've met. They changed their voices to that. You know, they use that remote neural device doing that, and that's how they get away with all kinds of stuff with doing all the real shit that I've explained that they've done in this town of Albany, Texas, and all the surrounding areas. Albany, Texas, too, man. They steal what I wrote earlier tonight on my Facebook about uh, schizophrenia is not real. It's a made up word scientists use, man. I wrote that on my Facebook. I wrote a big old paragraph about it. How us target individuals are on the good side, man, and it's a war, man, that we're in now. And we didn't choose to be in it, but we're in it now. And you know, they steal that from me, and they go on their social media, Facebook, Twitter account, Snapchats, TikTok, or Instagram, text messages, all kinds of social media, and their secret pages on Facebook, or their restriction pages on Instagram, and members they've let known. Uh, they steal my testimonies and what I've gone through as a target individual while gang stalking me and make themselves look good like they're targeted when they're not targeted. They at one point every person was stalked that became a gang stalker and brought in on that side. But once you become a gang stalker, once you start V2K and get access to remote neural device to voice to skull, direct energy weapon, and all that other stuff, you become a gang stalker. You're no longer a target individual. Me, on the other hand, I don't have access to it. I hear them, they hear me, but I don't have access. Like on my phone, they get like certain apps, like created apps, they get access to remote neural device where they can watch people and mind control and do all kinds of stuff and change their voices at times, and use people's voices. And that's also how they get away with gang stalking, because they'll just say that their voice was recorded or their voice was used at certain times, while they go sexual and harass people and do all kinds of evil ass shit. And that's the honest truth. They do that to people, and they get away with it because of what I'm telling you. How they use your family's voices against uh, yourself, or to bring in a new target or a new member into their shit. They'll trick a housewife, an underage girl, a college girl, high school girl, a high school boy, high school uh, or a college boy, or middle school kid, or underage elementary kids, housewives, people in their 20s, husbands, cops become dirty now. Uh, they do all kinds of ways by using someone's voices that they would trust, and they bring them in that way. And once they get that person in there, to start gang stalking and joining in on all the participating in all the gang stalking, they'll start using that person's voice to bring in the one that they used, and trick that person to get brought into gang stalking to also participate and go along with it. And them two will never know. They'll just think that it was them all along doing it, talking to one another in the beginning. And then that's how it starts off. That's how they trick people into becoming gang stalkers, because there's a lot of people in this town that never knew what it was until they got brought into gang stalking. And they continue to do that. And I hope my I hope this was getting recorded, because gang stalkers do love to steal what I say, and they also cut a lot of my audio out. It sounds like a wind, like the wind, like when I was walking earlier by the courthouse, that whoosh, they make that sound, and they make that white noise. But they they trick people to become a gang stalker, you know, by they will bring in underage girls that they find attractive, or underage boys that they find attractive, since elementary, middle school, junior high, college kids. They will also bring in, that they find attractive, or housewives, or husbands, or adults, man, or sometimes both, to swing with them and go sexual with underage boys and girls, while participating in gang stalking, harassing a target individual like myself. You know, they will trick them by, uh, they will stalk a person they want to bring in, and they will trick them by using one of their best friend's voices, or someone that they never thought would be a part of gang stalking that they can trust. They will use that person's voice, and uh, and they would trick them that it's that person, when it ain't that person at all. And once they get that person to that they were stalking to join in gang stalking, then they'll start using her voice without her knowing it, or his voice without knowing it, and bring in that person that the voice that they were using to begin with, to bring that person in to gang stalking. And the whole time, those two people thought from the beginning that it was each other talking to each other, through voice to skull, which is voice of God, B2K, done by a remote neural device. And that's how they become gang stalkers, while they practice covering up their thoughts on a target individual like myself. They use words uh, that are in your regular vocabulary throughout the day, but they have different meanings to it now, and that's what they do. And I've learned all this by listening, and at times I would see the things they do, and I'm not mentally ill for all those people that on the January 31st they called me psycho, or crazy, or that Leno got a gun from his grandma. You know, I heard that rumor too. And, you know, they do a lot of things in this town of Albany, Texas, man. And Albany, Texas ain't that small, little, perfect little town that everybody says, you know. It's corrupt. It's just like every town in America, man, that are, you know, towns that you see that are dirty and got cops doing some crooked, illegal stuff, man. There's cops in this town that are doing illegal stuff and letting other people get away with it because they're members of that shit. But they steal what I say and they go on their Facebook pages and, you know, Instagram accounts, and they got restrictions on people, you know, on their Instagram accounts. You can restrict people from letting them see certain things on Facebook also, and they steal my what I have to say, you know, at times that I don't put on Facebook, or I don't make a video about, or, you know, stuff that I've written in my journal or book. And they steal it and narrate it to the world and act like they're target individuals when they're not target individuals no more. They're gang stalking. And I am a true target individual, and I'm being gang stalked by people of Albany, Texas, and Albany, Texas, and all the surrounding areas in the big country. You know, when I went to my little niece's baptism 2 hours away in the town uh, where my brother lives, I could hear Albany people still gang stalking me. And it's not schizophrenia, man. Schizophrenia is a scientific word made up by scientists so that doctors can make money off people that they call schizophrenic, and they're not schizophrenic, man. That medication does not help at all. It's just them stopping V2. They just stop V2K to that person to make that person think that uh, they're not schizophrenic no more. That the medication is helping, and they and that's what they'll do while they continue to take their money. But at the same time, them people are still being gang stalked. They're being mind controlled, and it's for controlling the population, also depopulizing the population by doing slow kill on people. That's a whole different stage of gang stalking. That's like the ultimate last uh, thing on the list when you're being gang stalked or you're gang stalking a person, is to slow kill a person so it don't look obvious to the public or to their family members or their friends, or if they even have friends left anymore after being gang stalked by gang stalkers like myself. I barely have any friends anymore. But I'm still trying to live my life, you know, no matter how many times people try to call me crazy or schizophrenic or, you know, psychotic or psycho or, you know, or dumb or stupid. You know, I still try to continue to live my life, man, and it is hard at times, man. And I am being judged every day of my life, you know, every day. I'm being judged by people like I've never even met or talked to in my life, dude. And I know a lot of those people that are doing it to me from underage up. And a lot of them, I don't know their names, but I've seen them, you know, and I've heard them before talking shit about me. They have secret pages on Facebook. You know, they talk shit amongst themselves. They got parties. They talk shit about me, you know, and they have orgy parties and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Fight night. They got fight night where they steal people's techniques in fighting, and by using that remote neural device to steal people's vibrations, like they stole a lot of my fighting moves. And there's a lot of stuff going on in this town, man, that a lot of people in this town also don't know, man, that really don't know what's happening. And Albany Masonic Lodge members are a part of that evil ass shit. They really are, man. And I've been exposing it, man, and I get threatened. I've been threatened, you know, so many times, you know, that they're going to kill me, like, you know, you're dead, uh, you're going to prison, uh, you're dead. They will always say you're dead. We're going to shoot you. Let's shoot them. You know, all kinds of stuff, man. I've been threatened so many times, man. You know, they've threatened me so many fucking times, you know, or threatened to do something to my family members, you know. And I go through that every day, man. That's something I'm living with, you know, every day. But I continue to live my life, man. I'm still working out. I'm gonna try to keep on working out, no matter how many times it gets hard, you know, to live my life. And I do lose my jobs. You know, I'll get a job, but eventually I'll end up losing it. But you know, I ain't the first target individual to lose their job because of gang stalkers orchestrating stuff in our lives, you know. But I am Lena Martinez, and I don't want to make this video long because sometimes they cut my audio off and on, and I don't even know if this got recorded. So I am Lena Martinez. Right now it is 4:39 a.m. in the morning, and it is Friday, February 28, 2020. God bless.